Hi everyone, welcome to chapter 13. This chapter we will cover t-test and ANOVA. Okay, you need to first read the questions before you could attempt this question. The reason being, you need to know what sample t-test is about, why do we conduct t-test. If you flip to page 330, it actually shows you the manual calculation of how to calculate the Z value. Now this formula that is presented in page 330, it will need the percentages. On the other hand, if you are looking to input the figure that is represented by two means, then you would look and refer to the formula that is illustrated on page 333. Now, since we are using SPSS to compute the difference between the two groups, that is the purpose of a t-test. Now, we have to remember how to interpret the data. Okay, first, let's do the test. Question number 1 of case 13.1, it asks about whether the restaurant is more appealing to the man or to the female, to the woman. In order to do that, we need to use a independent sample t-test. So what we do is go to Analyze, and then we do Compare Means, Independent Samples t-test. So this is what I clicked over. We would want to click on the variable that asks how likely would it be for you to patronize this restaurant, which is represented by the variable name of likely. For gender, I clicked it over, and then so we would define the group as 1 and 2. Click Continue. Options, you can or you don't have to click it, but I would make sure that it's at 95% confidence interval. And then click Continue. Click OK. Now this is the table you would see after you run the test. If you could determine the difference, you would look at first the mean. Male is represented by 3.02, female 2.98. Pretty similar, it's just a little bit off, but it's very close to each other. The next thing you want to look at is this Levin's test for equality of variances. This test, it indicates the equal variances assumed. Okay? Now you would see whether there's significant on the value on the two-tail. It's way more than the significance value of 0.01 or 0.05. So what does this tell you? Referring back to page 330, on the bottom half of the page after the formula, it says if the Z value of 1.96 amounts to no support is larger than 1.96, then it says that it's no support for the null hypothesis, which also means that there's statistically significant difference between the two groups. So for in this case, this significance value is way more than the significance value of 0.01, which is what is determined as significant as 0.05, which is 95%. So how you gonna interpret this is by saying that it's in support of the null hypothesis, and men and women do not differ in respects to their likelihood to use the upscale restaurant described in the questionnaire. Okay, so this is question 1. Now let's go ahead and do question 2. Question 2 asks, with respects to the location of the Hobbit's Choice restaurant, whether it's a waterfront viewer preferred more than a drive less than 30 minutes. Now for this, we would do a paired samples statistics because we look at two different groups. Okay, for this sample t-test, we are looking at within that same group, so it's the group statistics. So what we're going to do next for question 2 is go to Analyze, Compare Means, and click on Paired Samples t-test. Okay, so let's reset this. Now we want to look at the two different groups. So two different groups, which is waterfront viewer and the drive less than 30 minutes. So we go find that waterfront view. Here, waterfront and the drive. Let's look at the drive. It's here. And you click over. Options similar is 95%. So click continue and just click OK. This is what you would see for our paired sample t-test. Now again, look at the mean value, 3.42 and 2.73. And then we will look at the significance value at the two-tail. This is significant. So what does this tell you? I'll leave it up to you to interpret. Don't forget to answer the question, just like what we did for question 1. Okay?